Hello, Capricorn. How's it going? Thank you so much for checking me out here at Reflexive Moon Tarot. I hope that you are all having a great time after a hard day's work. So, with that, let's get into your reading. We're moving into the new moon, so letting go of anything that you've had on your mind, that you have kicking around the house that you no longer serves you any purpose. That sort of activity is relevant to new moon energies, and it's in Aries right now. So you are, the fabulous grounded earth that is great for upholding a flashy fire like Aries. And with this new moon and also solar eclipse, the energy is going to be a bit debilitated, but giving us an opportunity to work with that contrary energy to challenge us and, get through a bit of a dark period where it might be just a little bit tiring, taxing on some level, and challenging to stay grounded a little bit. But I feel like for you, Capricorn, considering that you're an earth sign, you'll shine your light through this brief period of darkness in the next 48 hours. This reading will last up until the next time that you'll see me, hopefully around the first quarter. So with that, let's fully get into this. We're going to draw an oracle card from the Abandoned Oracle, Deviant Moon Abandoned Oracle. So let's get into this. It's the Paradoxical X-Ray edition. And I like to use this version on the new moon. It has like almost like a negatives from photo film. It has that sort of vibe or effect to it. So this is just to set the tone and check in with the lovely Capricorns out there. The Infant. So new beginnings, shedding light on what is new and maybe even new and innovative, as well as, it could be also, you may have some abandonment issues on some level, considering this is the Abandoned Oracle, and we do see an infant that is on their own for the most part. It does definitely ring true to abandonment, but with abandonment gives an opportunity for rediscovery. So you're able to focus your energy on what might be a budding problem. And, there is an element of exposure, something, that's somewhat dangerous. So this card, though, indicates that, you're sort of catching it before it grows out of control for the most part. So let's get into this. Let's see what the tarot cards have to say. Move on over to some tarot here. Ooh, we have the Eight of Pentacles reverse. So that's interesting. You might find yourself not very busy over the next period of time, or your concern is that maybe you're not busy enough, you're not satisfied with what it is that you're doing. Like, we're back sort of into the Seven of Pentacles type of energy with a reversed 8. It could indicate also either a slight chance of laziness, or your energy is debilitated, or you just are incapable of working at this time, and that's valid. So this could also speak to like some type of blockage with your health or barriers, any type of barriers. There's a lot of reasons why people are unable to work right now. And then we have the 8 again. So the theme here is 8, but in reverse. So the 8 of Cups usually indicates cutting your losses and moving on in a new direction. So this could be that you're having a hard time letting go. You could be having a hard time letting go of your job, like an old job. You could be having a hard time letting go of past loves. Have a hard time letting go doing what you love in order to, legitimize your monetary gain. But there's just something that you're holding on to. It could even be like grudge-worthy holding on to things. So hopefully that isn't the case, because that's not healthy. That's toxic. We want to be emotionally grounded and well. That's the name of the game. Overlooking the situation, though, you may have come out of a period of retreat, a period of growth, but on a cold scale. There's a lot of indifference involved with the 4 of Cups. It's all about balancing, love and indifference at the same time, so that you can have a healthy sort of temperance vibe, if that makes sense. So a healthy ebb and flow of your emotions. And it can be an extended period of coldness, arguably numbing out on some level, just being emotionally vacant for the purpose of, healing, getting over a situation, just avoiding or coping through trauma triggers. But at the same time, it's necessary. It's a period, like a plateau type of period that one would go through before, rekindling their fire or addressing any emotional conflict that you would see in the 5. So it's like the quiet before the storm on some level. And then we have the 3 of Swords. So this is not a very happy card. Within you've been hurt. You could also be in a cycle of self-harm, but it is definitely linked with experiences that you've had outside of yourself. Again, we're back on trauma, grief. You may have recently lost a loved one. It may be, within the past year, and it's still, weighing on your mind very powerfully. So that's totally valid. And let's see where you're coming from. What you have been overcoming within the recent past. Let's actually move to a different deck here. So recent past for Capricorn. And then we have the Star. The Star is reversed. So, struggling to get in touch with your fabulousness is what happens when the Star is reversed. The Star reverse also indicates a lack of hope. Lack of hope for forward movement, for the ability to transform into, how you see yourself, your ideal the ideal version of yourself. So it's like the opposite of idealism when the star is reversed. And that could be very well because of this grief that you have experienced. It could be in the past, or also could just be on, like, not just, but it can also be an ongoing period of grief. Sometimes folks really just have a lot on their plate, a lot in their families, and it takes its toll. So we do have some anxiety that we're dealing with. And, you know, it's like a war within your mind, a war within your, you know, your duality, like coming together, emotions and spirit, masculine and feminine. And, you know, you're sort of feeling like your feelings are definitely, they resonate with despair. But at the same time, you know, this desolate tundra that this fabulous being is, you know, crouched in a crouching sort of fetal position. They still are under their own umbrella. The moon is still shining and backing them up. You can stand under my umbrella, Ella, Ella, under my umbrella, Ella, Ella. You have your own umbrella. It is a great coping skill to have. It's like self-sufficiency at its finest. Just staying true to yourself, even in desperate times. We have the Ace of Swords. So you are having a difficult, or others see you having a difficult time putting your mind. Oh, this is more of your attitude, actually. I would say that your attitude is sort of lacking the mental energy that you need to shift and transform from your past. And that could be why you're experiencing these feelings of anxiousness. Mental energy, you know, requires a source. So finding out what feeds your source and trying to activate that radical self-care is critical to not necessarily forward movement, but just taking it easy, being present in the moment in a way that is, you know, speaks to serenity on some level. So we have the Ace of Pentacles, and others see you as not being healthy, like there's something that is not okay with you. And, you know, it's impacting your financial well-being, impacting your ability to work. And also, not that it's bad, you know, say for example, folks who are on a social assistance because they require access needs. They identify as a person with disabilities. Like there's all kinds of valid reasons why people are not putting themselves out there in the workforce. So, but also this may not have anything to do with that at all, actually. This could very much have everything to do with just not being grounded. And you could be all over the place on some level. You could also, I don't know, just sort of have like the ethics of what it is that you're trying to do is not grounded, are not grounded. You're operating with, there's a lack of ethics. Like, you know, when I think of free, prior, and informed consent, of coercion, that sort of thing. So manipulation. those things come to mind when a person is trying to move in a way that isn't grounded. And you sell yourself short the most because you're buying into an idea that is, it's like the ultimate form of self-manipulation, like when you're lying to yourself and you believe your own lies kind of thing. So that's a little bit heavy, but you know, nothing that isn't fixed, so we can move through this. Let's see what's up next here. We have the Seven of Swords. So theft. I'm not sure if you are fearful of somebody stealing from you, or if you are involved in theft on some level and you hope for it to execute on some excuse me. What was that show again? It was like 13 something. It was like George Clooney movie. Anyways, that sort of, I mean, that's pretty grandiose, but possible. It's possible. But either way, like, you know, very thick plotting against people, very thick, it could, you know, it gets political, even how you align yourself with what you subscribe to and what you are, you know, trying to connect with, who you're trying to connect with. What else with the Seven of Swords? It's also, it's more than, it's always, I feel like it's always more than you can handle. You know, one is too many and 1,000 is never enough when it comes to the Seven of Swords. So the person ultimately sells themselves short because nobody wins. The game continues and it just eats people up. So trying to get out of the game, there's the ultimate win. What is it? Michelle and Razel. The soul is the purest treasure of the heart, so you can't steal what you ain't got. And then we have the Page of Cups, overconsumption. Watch how much you're drinking, you know? Overconsumption is real for some people. Watch how much food you eat. You know, we have a tendency, especially during this time of COVID, that everybody's got their little tire happening, their COVID belly. What else? Anything you can overconsume. Gambling, you can, any kind of mood altering substance or behavior, if you're going to take like a biopsychosocial model approach to seeing it. But so harm reduction, even water, you can drink too much water. I've seen what water intoxication does to people. It's scary. So just be careful with that. This could also be a person in your life that's consuming too much, that's really impacting you, and why you may be experiencing all of these things, anxiety, sorrow, despair, and lack of hope. So getting grounded in staying true to yourself, finding supports that will help you to, you know, get through whatever it is that you're experiencing with this person, or, you know, in the case if this is you. But we're not going to end off with a court card. We'll pull another one and we'll draw some more until we find a more adequate conclusion. Again, we have the Knight of Wands, the King of Wands. So upright though, which is fine. So somebody who's really got their crap together, or at least looks like they have their crap together, but there still, you know, is the chance that, you know, their emotions might be a little bit too cut off. They could also be exploiting somebody. There's like, you know, someone drowning for the purpose of this king to walk in style through whatever it is that they're doing. So a creative a creative master on some level. Able to foster the development of others. And at some point, something will come crashing down. So there will be an ending. However that pans out is you know, yet to be determined, but hopefully not too rude of an awakening. And, you know, this is basically the Tower, another version of the Tower card. And as you can see, the light still keeps shining despite the chaos surrounding it and that it creates. So with that, Capricorn, thank you so much for checking out this channel. One more, actually. I almost forgot. Can't go without a divine message from the Spiritual AF deck. What do we got here? What's the best that could happen? You're probably super good at thinking up all the worst case scenarios, right? You can project all your fears onto a big screen and play them out in vivid color. You can actually feel the anger of the confrontation you haven't confronted, the loss of the job you haven't been fired from, the death of the star you haven't dared to shoot for. Wow. Trying to put those superpowers to work in the opposite direction. Imagine how you could be surprised and delighted in the same scenarios. Daydream instead of worry. Say hey to that cool ass shit. Hey, hey. Thank you, Capricorn, and we will see you next time. Bye.